everybody. Welcome back to another challenging question that you might not have had before you came to. For a lot of us, we're just now becoming aware that there are troubles in the world around us. Troubles that we aren't exactly blame-free of. Just as an example, I was passing a cardboard box, among other items that I've seen along the roadside here, of a variety of a pizza joint whose contents I actually enjoyed just the other day. So what's the difference between me putting my cardboard recyclable box into the recycle box or just throwing it out on the road somewhere? What's the difference? And when I say throwing it out on the road, what I mean is it was in an area where there's a lot of construction. And in that construction area, there are people who oftentimes have meals, drink water. So you can imagine the amount of water bottles that are also strewn about out here. And you and I know fully well that we can also imagine just how many water bottles we each have used over the course of time. It's probably a staggering amount. And since it's such a staggering amount and such a volume of consumption that we sometimes didn't even give thanks for, didn't even have gratitude for, we've got to ask ourselves this important question. And I know you've been hanging on this long to get to the point. You wanted to know what the question was. The question is it worth rescuing anything whatsoever? And I started to think that maybe my father was right. It almost doesn't matter what we do at all. And maybe that's why he threw me headfirst into a tub when I wet myself as a toddler. Maybe he didn't care if I survived, because what matter does it make if my own progeny survives and the world was going to end anyway? What difference does it make? What value is there to life whatsoever? So my question to you is it so easy to overlook how responsible we ourselves are that we can't enjoy a moment of peace? Is it so difficult to take time out as the world spins to its finality? It might just be for every individual at their own pace and time. As we approach this doom and gloom, is it even worth it anymore to try and save anything? Well, I'll tell you what, if I was a father, I guarantee you that I would value the life that I was blessed with. Not everyone feels that way. Not everyone was blessed with a life at the opportune time. And that's why we have decisions around us that include all the way up to and include the likes of abortion. Now, we're 4 minutes and 20 seconds into this video, and that brings me to a question as to whether or not we are actually free. Do you feel like you're free? When I post my thoughts as freely as we're supposedly able to do, I'm oftentimes met with energy that's just, it's forcefully vehement towards anything that I have to say. My dad threw me headfirst into a tub at one time in the past because I urinated on myself as a toddler. He threw me headfirst into the tub. That didn't kill me. So here I am still. Actually, here I am alive and well. And all I can say is that I am grateful. I am grateful for my father. I am grateful for all of the tough lessons that he and other people like him taught to me. And there are a lot of people like my father who are destructive towards the things around them. And I'm voicing this in public not because I'm being selfish. I'm doing it for the well-being of everyone else. If ever you experience a situation where you know that something is spiraling out of control and something's going to get obliterated, you would tell someone, and you would hope that somebody would listen. Do you have any true friends, deep thinkers? True friends who, if you told them your concern, they would basically go so far as to do everything in their power to help you out of a tough situation if you voiced your concern? Or would they instead simply just hear the conversation but not do anything about it? Isn't that what going to therapy is like? What is a therapist going to do besides try to guide you mentally into the possible direction of making a different choice? You're seeing a therapist because you want to heal. You're seeing a therapist because you want to make different choices. And so you start to think, well, maybe I can receive therapy from anyone who can actually see me, who can hear me. And so I ask if we're truly free because the other day I posted something about people tailgating and that causing situations that are unnecessary because of extreme pressures one way or the other. And that little clip got me another hater, which, thank you so much, Christopher. I absolutely believe that haters make you greater, and I know that you can't possibly hate me. You might be angry at the moment, but you're probably pretty grateful that I had a conversation with you whatsoever. So in this video that I posted, it suggested that going the speed limit in a national park might cause anxiety. It might cause anxiety to do the same thing in any driving experience, whether you're in a national park, a city, a rural area, anywhere. You might have extreme anxiety from just the situation of driving. As you can tell here, I only got stressed out in one case where I had to make a forced, quick decision because someone was tailgating me, which ironically was what I wanted to talk about in this subject. I wanted to reiterate, if we're free to make all of the choices that we care to make, it comes at a cost. That was birdseed that you heard falling back in the back seat, because the birdseed is low at my residence where I am entrusted to nurturing to the garden around me. I see wildlife episodes where people are having wildlife that's in their backyard relocated because it's a hazard. But they also chose to live in those wildlife-rich habitats that someone like me would value. I wouldn't throw that, what I was given, head first into an unexplained area that I'd never been to before. But you know, what do I know about peace? I try to talk with my friends about the same things, and I'm just met with, "You're a tweaker." Well, at 4 minutes and 20 seconds, we talked about that. Here we are at 10 minutes and maybe 23 seconds, and we're talking about that. And we continue to run into situations where, again, people are pressuring one another to make quick decisions. So whatever's going to happen is going to happen. My dad was right. And I value him greatly, or else I wouldn't ask for prayers for my family, my father in particular. I wouldn't ask if I didn't think I needed it. You know, I need help. So what is therapy about? When you really break it down, what is therapy really about? Is it an indirect way to ask one another for help? Because if my direct way of simply asking for people to engage in simple prayer once in a while with one another, while thinking about the clouds up overhead, as potential relief, if I were to ask for prayer today, in this 11-minute and 40-second, at this point in time, in this video, it's obviously just a bunch of words, would you be able to understand that when we pray together, we can actually manifest something that's helpful and not just so individualistic that it's absolutely free, practically. Any material thing we could possibly want in this world, practically free, no matter how you do it. And you're going to find over and over the right teammates for making those dreams come true. You've had them all along. What you haven't had is the expectations that you have a deep conversation with one another. And that's why people who are free, let's just say for an example, people who have worked for years to be free, to have the ability to retire. And not a single one of them in retirement, can schedule anything very freely because of all the appointments that they have. Well, guess what? There's only 2 appointments remaining: to pass away and to be judged. So how many of you believe in God? That's what I really want to ask. And if you do, I hope that you subscribe to this channel and understand that some of the passion that I have has to do with seeing all of the trash around. There's so much trash I'm passing right now. And we're constantly creating it. We're wasting it away at a rate that is not commensurate with whatever gratitude we think we're expressing. If we can't watch something and just not blatantly critique someone for not talking about something in the exact way that we wanted to experience that conversation. We need to be able to learn to communicate with one another, to love one another, and until we actually do that, we won't make time for one another, ever. So I hope that makes sense. Till next time, peace, love, and all that old school stuff.